this video I'm going to show you how to create a logo for your Netflix original, perhaps in the style of something like this. So this is the logo title card sequence for Arrow. Nothing too complicated. Name of the TV show, some sort of animation. There was some smoke going on in the background, perhaps you didn't notice there. Or again, we've seen the Breaking Bad one before. Logo appears over some sort of animated texture. Okay, you are allowed to use a small degree of non-original imagery, so you can use stock footage in your sequence, providing obviously all of the other pieces of footage in your sequence are shot by yourself. There's a number of different websites you can go to find stock footage that is suitable. I quite like VidEasy, but there's many other websites available. So for example, Smoke. Search for that, and we've got something that looks a little bit like the Breaking Bad introduction. Okay, we could perhaps search for something to do with the pandemic, perhaps if your narrative is focusing on themes of viruses and vaccines, etc. I quite like this one. So again, you can hopefully picture how cool that would look if we had some sort of logo over it. And once you've found one you're happy with, they'll only be short clips, they are available in HD, you can just download it there. Okay, I'm going to go into Premiere Pro now because I've already downloaded a clip, and if you go to right click, import, you can navigate to where that clip is, and it's now on my timeline. To show you how I did that, just drag onto the timeline and put it where you need it to be. So this is the background texture. It looks alright, but obviously there's no logo there yet. So I'm going to go to around about here. I'm going to go to the text box. I'm going to draw a box in the middle of that safe area. Okay. And that way, when I write the name of my show and center it in the effect controls here, I can guarantee that that text is in the middle. Okay, and that is hopefully something you would want to make it look professional. Obviously that font is not suitable. It's the basic screen font to Homer. I would expect that you were looking for your own bespoke fonts on a website such as DaFont or fonts.com or any number of font websites to download a specific font relevant to your brand and style and corporate identity for your television show or Netflix original movie. I've probably got some fonts around. I might use that one perhaps. There we go, that looks alright, certainly for my quick example anyway. You can see it's better than having just used Tahoma. Other things I can perhaps do to that, I can maybe add a stroke in perhaps a different colour. And perhaps maybe a drop shadow as well. I'm not sure a black drop shadow might work on this background, but those are the features, you get the idea. Okay, and what I would probably then do is drag that out a few more seconds. Okay, and to a degree that's kind of working. Not massively a fan of that orange. Let's see if red helps. Liking that a little bit more. Okay, there we go. There's my Breaking Bad rip-off show. Okay, what I could perhaps also do is animate this in some degree. So let's type cross dissolve into the effects panel and put that on by clicking, holding and dragging to the beginning and end of both of those, of that clip. In fact, actually, yeah, let's drag that to the beginning and end of our animation as well. And let's perhaps play that back in real time now. Fades in. A couple of seconds of the animation. And then the logo fades in. Okay, pretty happy with that for something I've just done in a couple of seconds. Obviously you will concentrate on that and spend a lot more time on it. This is where perhaps you then might want a second title, perhaps to come in maybe around about here, perhaps underneath the logo, where you could write a Netflix original. And I will then need to change this font and its size back down over. think I'll center that as well. And there is a specific Netflix font which I would like you to use. It's called Gothic. It's available on the drive to download. Gotham, sorry. And again, I'm probably going to have to remove my effects. Certainly the stroke anyway. And I'll perhaps put the word Netflix in red. Okay, and again, for something I've done very quickly, hopefully you can appreciate, yeah, that looks branded like what I would perhaps expect a Netflix original show to look like. And obviously you will spend a little bit more time on your logo. If you were to bring in perhaps a animated stock footage clip from VidEasy that you like, but perhaps aren't a fan of the colour, maybe this blue isn't perhaps as end of the world as perhaps your narrative might suggest, there is an effect called Channel Mixer, which you can drag on to your clip. Once you've done so in the effects controls, you can start to manipulate the degree of colour and maybe try and create a different shade or hue. Perhaps that looks a little bit more like a deadly virus rather than that chirpy blue. And if you've seen my other video on colour balance, you might find that adding, for example, the Top Gear radial gradient might actually create a more aesthetically pleasing look. And let's just temporarily steal that old title from there and manipulate the length a little bit. Quite happy with that as well for a logo that I've just created in a couple of seconds. Okay, so there you go, combination of a stock clip, an animated stock clip from VidEasy or similar websites on a layer, a text box branded appropriately with a particular font on the top, with perhaps even a sub text box for a Netflix original branded in the Netflix font, some degree of drop shadow, perhaps a stroke if necessary around the outside of your lettering, a crossfade in and out. You might even want to manipulate the size so it perhaps grows much like the arrow clip, and then fade it back out again. If you need to, also apply the radial gradient around the outside. So there you go, how to create a logo for your Netflix original. Thanks for watching.